Brought to you by Penguin.
How Not to Fuck Up Your Marriage. Straight talk from a divorce lawyer who's seen it all. Written and read by James Sexton.
For Mom, Casey, and Nate the Great. She insists she's in love with me, whatever that is. What she means is she prefers the senseless pain we inflict on each other to the pain we would otherwise inflict on ourselves. Patty Chayefsky, Altered States. Negotiations and love songs are often mistaken for one and the same. Paul Simon, Train in the Distance. Everything in this book is factual. Names and identifying details have been changed to preserve my license to practice law. Introduction. Take the path they didn't. This is a how not to book. How not to fuck up a good relationship or marriage. If you're married, the goal of this book is to keep you out of my office. Better still, the goal is to help you have a marriage in which the idea of coming to my office would only ever be the most momentary of fantasies when your spouse does something boneheaded. If you're not married, the goal of this book is to keep you from heading towards the mistakes and bad choices that my clients and their romantic partners have made that brought someone like me into their lives. As a divorce lawyer who's facilitated the demise of more than 1,000 unhappy marriages, and counting, I observe the things people typically do to ruin their relationships, to stifle their happiness and that of the person whose well-being they once cared so much about. Year by year, couple by couple, I can't help but take it in. I'm not a therapist, but almost every day at work, women and men describe to me, in total candor and painful detail, all the behaviors that they or their partners engaged in to turn a relationship born of the best intentions into a steaming pile of shit. The miscommunication, the non-communication, the diluted communication, the self-absorbedness, the changing when stability was called for, the not changing when evolving was called for. I've had a ringside seat to countless ruined or doomed from the start relationships. After 2 decades of performing this profoundly intimate service for so many ex-spouses-to-be, as well as for people in myriad other relationship permutations, such as living together or having children in common, the sheer bulk of these observations has turned into a wisdom of sorts. Not long ago, about the time my own marriage was dissolving, I started to think that there was practical value in sharing what I had learned, that people in marriages and other romantic relationships who really want things to work in the long term might be at least as well served by the not-tos as by the words of those who claim to know the secret of creating a strong or good relationship, those mystical truths that fill so many magazines and books. As a divorce lawyer who got divorced, I've learned at least as much about love and honesty from the latter condition as from the former. Let me say right here, in my practice, I have not gained insight into what makes a relationship good. And I won't really opine on the subject. It may be, quite simply, that from where I'm sitting, there appear to be countless ways that something can be good, but a finite and more easily identifiable set of ways things go bad. In my professional life, I do not see the good marriages, the great marriages, the solidly pretty okay marriages. The people in those marriages never set foot in my office. I know that, just as an oncologist is aware that not everybody has cancer, though everyone who comes to see him does. No, everybody is not fucking everybody. Most divorce lawyers adopt this dark worldview pretty quick. No, not everyone is cheating their spouse out of money or trying to use the kids as leverage to minimize child support obligations. I'm guessing, though I believe this is an educated guess, that in the good relationships, the ones I don't see, many of the recommendations I make throughout this book are already in use, resulting in incredibly rewarding and enduring unions. I know this. In 20 years of practice, I have never, not once, not ever, met a person who was cheating on their spouse and who also appeared genuinely in love with that spouse. I have never met a happily married person, not once, who was involved in massive financial impropriety. If you know you've got something special, you don't out of nowhere start behaving in ways to jeopardize that. But do you really want insights into love and romance and successful partnership from a divorce lawyer? Yes, and here's why. The therapists in women's magazines and television and radio experts, I'm looking at you, Doctors Laura and Phil, who claim to offer the keys to a great relationship have shared them for decades. And somehow my business and that of my colleagues is still booming. If they're
Sample complete. Ready to continue?